Alright trainers, so let's talk about directing the show. So what I mean by this is to realize that you're in control of every single aspect, perception, and experience that happens within that 60 minutes or whatever your time frame is with your client. So a lot of times trainers just come into the workouts thinking about talking about exercises and sets and reps, and that's all they're doing. When you got to realize this is really a sort of an orchestra or symphony, if you will, of your creation, and it's only limited by your ability to control the entire situation and all the tools that you have at your disposal. And I'm not just talking about your mouth, I'm talking about your mouth, your hands, your ears, your eyes, all your senses, and all the things that God has given you to work with in order to communicate with this client and to paint together the masterpiece that you want with this training session. So realize that most humans have about 50,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day. That's about 48.6 thoughts per minute. And if you think about that, that's almost a thought per second. So that's how fast the mind is working, and how quick and easily it is to get distracted or to take up another piece of information, or how quickly they can lose you, or they might trail off and really not keep focused as to what's going on. So you got to really consider that as you're going through each and every step, from your warm-up to your workout to whatever the case may be, whatever you're explaining. Keep that in mind, and how you might be able to save yourself time and get to the point faster, be snappy when you need to be, and so you don't lose their attention, you keep it exciting and keep it fun and engaging, or realizing that you're a yawn fest. And you can really make your workout and your session for them an amazing masterpiece or a boring yawn fest. So consider that as you go into your workouts, and it's not just about showing someone sets and reps and exercises. And if that's all it is, you're not providing enthusiasm and getting them to elevate themselves to new heights and making this something big, making this the best part of their day and something they can't imagine living without, then you're really shortchanging yourself as a trainer and your ability to help change someone's life. Now, perception. Perception is intake of sensual, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic information at any point in time, and the culmination of that is sort of that reality that they're taking in. And this could be a combination of the way you're explaining something, using your hands, or using the tone of your voice, or whatever you might be doing to communicate to this person. For example, they're brand new and you're trying to get them to do a barbell back squat, and the way you may have given them a visual demonstration first, but when they're setting it up, they might be a fish out of water, and you're explaining what to do to them, to grab the bar with your hands here, and as you're guiding them with your mouth, you're actually assisting them to stand and maybe even nudging them slightly in the back to get into position, or palpating their back to make sure they're locking in nice and tight. And how you put all these things in together is going to accentuate and really put together what you're trying to control in their actions and behaviors. And then let's say that set's over, then you give them post-education and realize that as soon as that set's done, they're thinking, wow, that was hard, that was this or that or the other, it was too easy. You immediately get into their head, you invade their thoughts and find out how hard was that, what was the difficulty level, how did it feel, tell me your thoughts, your feelings about that set. You know, we have a set way we do that here at the lab. We assess pain and difficulty level on that, we take our notes, and then we prepare our next set. We follow up with post-education on that set of things that were good, bad, or if it was great, hey, that was awesome, fantastic, same way next time, or hey, your knees were caving in on that set, we need to work on that. And then we go to our next exercise and start pre-education for that next exercise or next set, whatever it might be. So we're layering in more detail, more information that's relevant to them. It's not just about pounding them with all this information and overstimuli. It's about getting them what they need to that meets them exactly where they're at and where they need to go for their best progress. So perception is their reality, and that's under your control and under your whim at all times. And so realize that the speed and the quality of the workout is really under your control. Even though you might have stubborn, hard to work with clients at times, it's still in your hands, and you got to find a way to work with them. And the best trainers are the ones that can make miracles happen out of anybody, or whatever they touch turns to gold. And they're going to find a way internally to change themselves to work with that client and to be what they need to be to get what they need out of that client to get them to achieve their goals. So realize that going into the process, and it's not about them, it's about you. There's how much of them can you ultimately change internally. You're going to do your best at all times, but what you can definitely do instantly is change yourself from the inside out to help change them. In this process, you must realize that going from good to great is the quality and the speed of your workout. How much can you get done in X amount of time? And the value that's on your head is how much you can execute and demonstrate within, let's say, your finite amount of time. Let's call it 60 minutes. So if you can't deliver, and you're just sitting there counting reps and shooting the shit, then the value on your head is rising. You know, you should be able to look at your client and say at the end of the session, hey, that was a fantastic workout, right? You know, you owe me another $5 to $10. And that's a joke, but it's something I think to myself in my head after I do a session, was that worth the money? am I worth more? How can I be worth more? How can I do a better job? And I assess myself with that all the time. But I'd rather, my real acid test of myself on this is when I train that client, is that a feeling that they're going to give me unsolicited anyway after the workout? Are they enthusiastic? Are they thankful? Was that an amazing experience for them? And they happily will pay whatever fee that we have for them. And it's really not exactly about the fee. It's not the focus of that. The focus is the quality of that workout that ultimately increases your value as a trainer, because you are a change maker and you will make a difference in their life. In order to be the best director, you have to really have a solid plan and method of execution. So you just can't go in there and shoot from the hip. And you got to go in there and have plan A, plan B, all the way down to Z, and be ready for every contingency possible. And know your next moves, know your next 2 steps in your head already before you get there, because not everything is going to always work. But if you have a formula and a thought process and a way you think and work scientifically and systematically, you're going to go in there with a better chance for success and know how to whittle and change things as you go that best fits the client's needs and abilities. So know your plan of attack, but also have your audibles ready to go while you're in the heat of the moment, so you can make things continue to roll and be successful and have no barrier ever getting your way. Your toolbox should be vast and diverse, but not that you need to be complicated, but no, mastery is truly being able to simplify things to make it digestible for them and usable for them so they can get somewhere. But then when you encounter that barrier, you know when to go to your fancy schmancy stuff or whatever your loophole might be to make something work. And so whatever the case or the barrier might be, whether you run into a line on a machine or whether an exercise isn't working, you've already got your next steps and plans ready to go, and you're talking to them about the next exercise or what they did, your pre or post education, and you're continuing to make the process roll very smoothly. So there's not a dull, dry moment in that workout. And when you find a lull or a time that energy drops down or you got some time to rest or breathe, there's something that you can constantly reinforce or educate on about that workout that client could use. So reinforcement of a principle that they're having difficulty on, or bringing up an issue that you may have chose your battles on an issue previously and thought, hey, I better bring that up at another time. We don't have time for that now. It could be something as simple as, hey, you should be doing some rolling and stretching before you go to bed at night. You might have a 30-second window of opportunity while you're waiting in line for a machine to bring that up and put that amount of information into that block of time while they're resting. So it's active rest, and you're getting them more information, and you're just increasing your value. You're giving them more information and more take home and more for their experience and more for their dollar for every second of time you have with them. So whether the client's procrastinating or time's moving slow or they're just a bit deconditioned and they're trying to slow themselves down, your information and cues to them doesn't always have to be verbal. A lot of times I've had clients in the past who would get on a off tangent and want to keep talking about some random subject, and I don't want to be rude to them, but I need to set a certain agenda and tone with them that, hey, we need to get going and get some work done. I might be handing them the dumbbell or holding dumbbells like this to them in order to grab them, and I say, okay, and some clients who are stubborn and are just trying to delay, I might say, okay, that's very nice, 10 reps on this set with 35 pounds, and I will hand it to them at the same time. So they have to actually take the dumbbells and they're hearing my information at the same time. They can't take no for an answer. If I just say, hey, it's 10 reps on this set, they may just continue to talk and override me. So it's a matter of dominating that situation and making sure you get it done and setting that tone and keeping yourself on pace to get that workout done. So remember, you're the director. You don't need to be a dictator and just be an overwhelming asshole on this. It's about meeting that client at where they're at and who they need you to be in order to change them positively. Remember, you should be in control here, and they should be following your lead the entire time. So they hired you in order to change their life and to really teach them something with health and fitness. So you need to be in charge of that, and you can't let, whether it's their bad attitude or their motivation for that day, slow things down. Remember, you're the director of the show, and you're going to get things done. And perhaps try pacing and leading to where your energy is at a certain level, and you're elevating their energy, their mood. You're making them more positive when you're hearing negative thoughts and comments from them. No, we're going to do this. We got this today. Just follow my lead. I'm going to get you there. Let's get after this. Just focus on the form, and we'll count the reps, and we'll get going. One foot after the other. Let's see what happens. And next thing you know, they're in the middle of the workout, having the workout of their lives. So I always take that as a challenge to get more out of them than they ever thought was possible. And a lot of times it ends up being some of the best workouts they've ever had. So you're pacing an outstanding performance. You're bringing the energy. You're enthusiastic, no matter how tired you might be, and you set that tone and that lead, and they eventually start following you, and they clear their head and they follow your lead. And remembering that in this process, you're always in control, and that you could either be a director of an amazing masterpiece, or it could be a huge yawn fest. But it's up to you in terms of the masterpiece that you want to put all together.